What's up, everyone? This is Anthony Gallegos from IGN alongside Mitch Dyer.
Hi!
And so we are here to tell you about Planetside 2, a free-to-play multiplayer shooter from SOE, Sony Online Entertainment.
I've heard of Planetside. That game was awesome and successful.
So Planetside had a lot of fans back in the day, but I think that there are many people who also have really terrible memories of it. So the footage you're seeing right now, this is actually all cut together from various multiplayer maps I've done. I've hopped right in a vehicle. That's the thing about Planetside. Within seconds, you can immediately be like, boom, I'm in a vehicle, I'm flying out into this gigantic world. It's kind of like a vertical takeoff and landing plane.
All right.
But within seconds, you can just take off. You're all of a sudden in the world. You're finding a battle that's taking place. Like, this is just a war
just people
I came upon. Yeah, these are all people that I'm playing with. And
is there AI or is it all people all the time?
It's all people all the time.
Okay.
So I've just hopped out of my ship, left it there sitting.
What if could I just go take that? Like,
no, so your ship is your ship.
Okay.
Like, people can get in if it's multi-person, but they can't just steal it from you.
They can't jack your stuff.
I mean, this is kind of a cool place to point out, like, how badass the lighting effects really are.
Yeah,
like,
the weapon effects are really gorgeous.
Yeah, they do a day and night cycle in this that actually does really great things with the lighting. That's one of the guys in the powered suits. It's class driven, so you can pick the class you want to play. I'm playing as like the light assault guy.
Do you have a jetpack? What's
going
on there?
Light assault guys have a jetpack. So
you're dead.
But yeah, the guy I was fighting in is in one of the heavy suits, as you can see right there.
Okay. He's an alien of some kind?
Yeah, well, no. So there are three factions. They're all humans.
Okay.
There's the Terran Republic.
Sound like my people. Pro-Earth.
Well, they're kind of like the evil empire.
Right,
then there's
the bad guys from Total Recall.
Yeah, and then there's the New Conglomerate, and then which are kind of like the rebels, which that's who I'm playing as. And then there's the Vanu Sovereignty, who are like, they want to steal alien tech, and that's why they look like weird and purple.
Okay.
But yeah, the whole point of the game, what it boils down to, is that it's like playing like a capture point game, like Battlefield. You're coming, you're neutralizing points.
Good job capturing that point.
Exactly.
Great work.
You're taking the bases, but the thing is, in Planetside, is you're taking these bases and kind of like pushing the front, as it were. Just because you've succeeded in taking that base doesn't mean you've like secured it.
Okay.
It's like, this is a game it's an MMO, so it's online 24 hours a day. So you might go to bed that night, and then
all your work would be for nothing.
A crap ton of the other factions get on, and they push the front like crazy, and they retake all that stuff you guys took.
Okay.
So it's like, that's why they really want things like clan support to develop over time, where there's like, people are like, well, we gotta have someone up on watch to let us know if anything goes down.
It sounds like that'll be necessary for this to succeed in the way. In a way that will make it interesting rather than just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I find that when I'm playing it, battles kind of turn into this thing where you're constantly responding to what you see going on. So no team I've ever seen has like completely swept a map, because what happens is you look on the map and you see it start telling you like everyth's under attack, and so that makes you respond and go there to keep it from them from being able to push really hardcore on a point.
So is there like an overarching story, or are you just wandering around trying to capture all these points? What's going on in your life here? I
mean, you're capturing all these points for a few reasons. You're capturing them because each sector that you see on the map has like a resource value allocated to it. So capturing these points gives you resources. You can see them on the kind of middle left side of the screen.
Right above the map?
Yeah, there are 4 different resources, and so getting all these resources is how you're doing things like purchasing vehicles.
Okay.
Like this vehicle right there, that's a heavy landing craft. That's where guys can spawn from when you go and take a point. You can shoot out of it as you're in the air, which is kind of like this is totally a Planetside moment. Like, I'm just in a plane with a bunch of people. There's like 6 of us in this right now.
You guys getting torn up?
We're having, but this is a really heavy craft, so it can actually kind of take it on the chin. Which, I mean, there's nothing quite like it in Planetside when you like go and you do like an assault. You're taking a ton of fire from guys who are all in emplacements in a base. And
you guys aren't really assaulting anything. You're just flying away, cowards.
Well, right now we are, yeah, but we're also being attacked by like.
Are you just talking tail? You just giving that up?
Yeah. I mean, this was a moment where we took this base. We have guys that are there defending, and at this point, we're just trying to move on to the next.
Okay. Could you guys not just like dominate from the air?
So the thing is that it's pretty hard. I feel you have to be. I will say that the flying in Planetside 2 is definitely skill based.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you can use the mouse and keyboard and you can do an okay job with it at first, but you can tell when someone has like a real amazing talent to be doing it.
Right.
Like, it's like when you see a really good person in Battlefield using the chopper.
Making the rounds.
But I love moments like this, right? Like there's like a fighter that someone's flying in us, and then you have this guy that's on the tail kind of trying to support us. Things don't go very well though.
No, you're smoking. You guys are
No,
not
we're
in
really
good
bad.
shape.
Yeah,
oh
you
God,
you
that's
can,
on fire.
Yeah, I mean that's
Oh,
why that's
going
why
down. Mayday.
that's why he's
Mayday.
bringing us down to try and get a landing off.
Oh, I can't watch.
But you see kind of the scale of the bases. That earlier one we saw was like a really small base. This one is massive. Like
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
like an
big.
example of a really massive base, and he landed successfully.
Is this an instance, or is this just like a chunk of a world that exists all the time?
No. So the whole world, it's just a chunk of a world that
Okay.
exists the whole time. Like at any given time, you could get in a plane and fly across this whole world. And right there, I've switched classes so that I could fix the ship that we just landed in. Like that's like something that's cool in this that happens. Like we have that moment where we see a ship, we get out, we fix it, and then we could, in theory, take off again. But most people tend to kind of, which we do. A lot of people abandon
And away
vehicles.
you go.
But yeah, that was just like a moment where, I realized the role that needed to be fulfilled, took it over, did it. And all the time you're doing this, you're earning experience. And in this game, what you do is you use the experience you gain and stuff to earn what are called certifications. So like the class that you're playing, the vehicle that you're using, you can basically do small upgrades to them all the time. This kind of gives you a sense of the scale of the world too. Like I did a quick zoom out there. It's huge.
Is that just like the territorial control?
This is
between
yeah.
the
So this
factions?
exactly.
Okay.
So you can kind of see the fronts, and if you mouse over them at any given time, you can see like percentage-wise, like who's in control of that area, which kind of tells you like if you see like, this may be technically controlled by us, but it's like 80% the enemy team. You know that you can go there and kind of get into the fight.
So when you start a new character, like when I start my scout, a rebel scout, is that just who I am forever?
No. So that's the thing is you may start a new character and that character will level up, but as far as the class they can be, you can constantly switch.
Okay,
that.
cool.
So you're
That
not
works out.
locked into a class. You do have like a persistent character that you can upgrade. Like you can see, you can go and you can give them implants, or now I'm looking at the vehicles and you can give some of the vehicles certain upgrades as well. Like I said, they're called certs, but they're all like they're all what they call side grades, which means that it's not like it's. So the reason I know that sounds
I
like
really
such a-
don't like that term, Anthony.
I know you don't. But what I'm saying is that the whole point of it is that you get it isn't necessarily an upgrade because there's always a significant trade-off
I want to wear that
for
suit.
it. Yeah, so
Go
this
back
is
and
kind of
put
an
that
example
on.
of all the suits. There's the infiltrator, light assault, combat medic, engineer.
Hi, I just
heavy
have
assault,
chain guns strapped
max.
to my forearms.
That's the max
No big
suit.
deal.
So this is what I'm saying. So look at these certifications. The reason they call them side grades is because they almost always come with like a really significant trade-off. Like you could make your airship way better at taking down other airplanes, but then it would become like terrible against ground units. Like that's not necessarily an in-game actual
Okay.
thing, but I'm saying that's an example.
Okay,
like
yeah.
it's never like you
It's
just
not, you're
become
just, yeah, nobody
better
is
and better and
becoming
better and
this
better
god,
and better. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's more about how you want to play. That's kind of how they're trying to do it, so that in a free-to-play game, it's very important that as a new player, you always feel like you have like a chance to actually succeed.
Is this the entire world? This is the whole world?
So that is that is the
Alright.
gigantic overworld.
What's going on with these explosions on the map here?
So they'll show you where there's like conflict points, and
Okay.
then you can mouse over. And then what I'm doing is I'm actually selecting this, and then if you want, you can select instant action, which I didn't do there. But what that does is you can do it like every 20 minutes, and you can just airdrop in from like a pod from space, slam into the ground, and immediately be in the action.
So until we see something amazing happen on screen, explain to me the monetization of this, because free-to-play stuff, especially lately on PC, has been really awesome. With
Yeah, and this
stuff
one,
like Blacklight
this one,
and Tribes.
this one looks like it's doing the same things. It's mostly cosmetics. Earlier, when I was looking at my vehicle and stuff, there was a lot of cosmetic options in
Okay.
there. And then, of course, they're going to do the time versus money sort of investment,
yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like like maybe you want to earn double experience booster, that sort of thing. But nothing as far as like they're not going to charge for playtime. There's no monthly subscription, nothing like that. You can definitely play this 100% free. What you're kind of seeing here is not only when you take bases does it involve taking points, but you actually have to usually do things on the bases too. Like there will be like shields up that will prevent you from getting to certain capture points. So you can take those by like finding the shield generators around the base, destroying them, which will then open up the pathways to get to those capture
This
points.
sounds so much more complicated and fun than Battlefield.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
love Battlefield.
That's the thing is like when you start destroying those generators, all of a sudden the enemy realizes their base is under attack, and they'll come to defend it even before those capture points are being taken.
Right.
Which is why most of the time when you want to successfully take a base, it involves not just infantry, but like a full on like tank assault and all that. It's like a multiple person wave going into battle. Like there's guys in tanks, there's guys in planes, there's infantry landing. So it feels like like a crazy. Like, it feels like you're part of an army. I know that in most games and shooters, they try and make you feel like you are the hero. In Planetside, you're not the hero.
You're just a grunt.
You're a grunt, but it's awesome also
That's the
being
Star
the
Wars
grunt.
Battlefront approach, man.
Yeah, I mean, that actually, yeah, for all the people that have always said they wish there was more Battlefront, well, this is kind of, in a lot of ways, like Battlefront. in many ways. Except, obviously it's not set in Star Wars.
No
but
stormtroopers.
no, you're all humans, but I would say that the vehicles in this are a lot better than they were in Battlefront. So,
Don't you talk about my X-wing that way.
no, but so you get to do all these different roles.
Group
you get
heal.
to heal.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
all those points you're gonna get.
that's the thing is that there are more ways to be successful in this game than just being a really good shooter. I'm not necessarily always the best shooter. I'm not bad, but playing with these guys are pretty crazy. Here's another example.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so this is another example of a base. Like this one's way up high, and the best ways to get to it are like that jumping pad you saw, or in this case, my team has landed, like an excellent pilot has landed a craft here that we can
Yes.
spawn out of and assault this base. So yeah, it kind of just gives you an example of, like, this world is not just like a carbon copy every 2 feet. There's huge grass valleys, there's craggy rock environments. You get the feeling when you're fighting across it that you are in different chunks of the world, kind of fighting over this persistent world.
I kind of want to play this.
Yeah,
I didn't know much about it before this moment. This has been an education for me.
yeah, and for a lot more on Planetside 2, you should always keep it locked to IGN.com.